down the hill, picking my way across the stream. Hi, Mike here with another one of my orienteering videos. This time it was the Army at WestPoint in New York that held their annual 2-day event in mid-April. Now, typically that's always a hilly, rocky set of races, and in fact the first time I did it a few years ago I really busted up my knee and said I'd never go back there again. But I did the next year eventually, and been for another 2 or 3 years since then. So I had told my wife that it was going to be a cold, hilly, rocky, wet set of races. I got 3 of them right, because as I got to my overnight place and looked at the weather forecast, it turned out that it was going to be a cold, wet, hilly, snowy race. I had an early start on Saturday, and as you can see there was a lot of snow on the road. As I left the main road, well, it wasn't a very big main road, but as I left that road onto the forest trail, I had to go really slowly, really carefully. And in fact, when I came to a hill, there was some stopped cars, and some of the Army cadets were milling around, came to me and said that we couldn't really go on. The roads were too bad, cars couldn't make it up the hill. They had to push one of the cars up that hill. And they got us all to the top of that hill. I had no trouble driving up it in my van because I have all-wheel drive, so it was great. They told us the event, unfortunately, was cancelled, was eventually the message that they got. That turned out not to be quite true, but they had blocked off the road so nobody else could go up. They turned us around. I got stuck in the snow as I was turning around, but I got some traction blocks that got me out, no problem. Went down the hill back towards the main road very carefully. Met some more people from the Army who said, no, the event wasn't cancelled, that was bad information. It was just postponed by 2 hours for the start. And we were all going to go just a quarter of a mile down the road to Camp Buckner, hang out at the parking lot there, which is what we did. Then, after waiting around for an hour and a half or so, I had a cup of tea in the van, watched a bit of TV, did a little bit of stretching. I then went back, and the Army had, true to their word, made the forest road a little bit easier, cleared away a bit, put some sand down, and vehicles were getting through without too much of a problem. So we drove through the registration area and also the download finish area to the parking lot, and finally got there. And then we had the walk back through the registration area to the start area. So here's the map with my course on it. What we'll do as usual is run through some video of the course with my route on it. I'll talk about it, see what I did. In fact, the very first control gave me a route choice of, do I go up the steep hill or do I go round it? And I had memories of maybe a couple of years ago, a much bigger steep hill, people going up that, and I went round it, and that was quicker. I changed my mind about 3 or 4 times as I was starting the race. Do I go up? Do I go around? And eventually I went round, and I think that was perhaps the better choice. So let's see how the rest of the race goes. Brown X.
Brown X should be right down there. Enjoy the course. Be careful of the ice, you know. Make your ascents wisely.
Yeah.
We don't want to have any problems out there and have to come find you.
Suck to be out there, not moving for a while.
But yeah, you guys are good to go. Have fun. Thank you.
All right, so off we go. I am trying to figure out what to do here. Do I go up and over, or do I go around? Doesn't look too steep, but I'm thinking at this point that I'm probably going to go around. You can see the footprints of the runners ahead of me, giving an indication how deep the snow is, about 1 or 2 inches. Well, for the Europeans, about, what's that, about 3 to 6 centimeters. So at this point I'm thinking I'm going to go around, but wait for it. At this point I'm thinking, should I go up? Nah, I'll go around. So there's a bit of a trail that goes around this hill, so let's start going around the hill. I'm just going to cut out a few bits of this course and show you most of the highlights. So here we are going around, and you can see these the rock features ahead of me. I can see them on the map. So the thinking is that I'm going to get to that feature, and then I'm going to go down the valley past it and into the control from there. I'm going to speed up, well I have just speeded it up to 150%, just because it gets a bit boring at this slow speed that I go at. So that we can see another competitor must be on a different course because they're going in a different direction to me. So just ahead of me you can start to see the shape of that little valley as we come towards it. And then you'll be able to see the rock features on the right there. So we're just going to come down into the valley and then follow it down, which will take us through the green area into the control. So let's jump ahead to that. And here we are just coming out of the green, the sort of light green area. It wasn't difficult to get through. Should be able to see the rock features. Here they are. Just go around this and the control should be just the other side of it. I'm being really careful just to pick my way over these boulders in the snow and ice, as if my knees weren't bad enough and enough of a handicap. And there's the control, just ahead there. Got it. Alright, so the second control, you can see that there is about halfway along in a straight line, just to the left, there's a hill, small hilly, small knoll, small hill, with a lot of rock features just in front of it and a valley just to the right of it. So that is definitely something to aim for, and then just pick my way around the hillside to what I hope would be the rock features where the control is. And here's the hill just to the left where the rock features. I must be looking down at my map. Maybe I should have the headcam tilted up a little bit higher. So we're just going to go past this. Part of the work on this course is trying to figure out whether to go through the fallen trees, round to the left of them, round to the right of them, because there were quite a few here and there. So we're just going to go on around the hillside. So let's sort of get to near the control. You can actually see where that person is walking ahead. You're kind of in that sort of valley area, and that helped give me another marker that I was on the right way. So here we are with the sort of rock crag on the right. Person ahead of me that is probably going to the control. Sometimes you can use that as a guide. Look at the direction someone else is traveling in. But I should pretty much be at the control by now. Indeed, that person. With some poles for extra stability. Am I going to go underneath this thing or over it? No, I'm going under it. Surprised I could bend like that with the dodgy knees, but there's the control. So going to the next control, you can see that, again, it's pretty much a straight line, and on a medium course, that's often what the best route is. It's really about close navigation on a straight line. There's a stream ahead and near the control with some trails. So as long as I stick to the general sort of area direction, I should be able to pick things up there near the control and figure out what's going on. Now I start veering off to the left a little bit. There is a wall to the left that I do spot, and I use that to realize that I am slightly off track. Maybe it was going around these this little stony ground area that I carried on to the left, around the green area instead of going through the gap in the green area. So that took me a little bit too far to the left. But it wasn't a big issue. So let's jump ahead to nearer where the streams are. Okay, in general the vegetation underfoot was pretty easy to go through and not at all painful. There was a part somewhere around here, I forget exactly where it was, where I grabbed something and it had some thorns on it, so that was a bit painful. So I'm gonna have to cross the stream somewhere. I was kind of thinking that I'd be able to see where that trail was gonna cross it. I thought there might have been a bridge that I could speed to help spot exactly where I was. Turns out there wasn't actually a bridge there at all. So I just decided, well, I need to cross the trail here anyway. Sorry, cross the stream here. And then I should be able to pick up the trail on the other side. Now, what happens is that I do see the trail here. You can see a marker on a tree there. I didn't see the trail junction. I couldn't see the trail to the right, but I kind of thought, well, I think I'm in the right place. I'm going to go into the woods and hope I'm in the right place. Hope is a word you don't like to use in orienteering. You should know. But I was in the right place because there's the control. In a little snowy pit. Now for the next leg from 3 to 4, kind of got a choices of, do you go slightly left of the line, do you go more or less straight on the line, or there's an inviting looking trail to the right, which I had just been on a little bit. So I decided I was going to go back and along the trail a bit. And this is when I sort of found out that there was no bridge. That's why I couldn't see a bridge. Maybe I shouldn't have crossed the stream here. I should have stayed to the left, because I'm not able to leap across these kind of streams anymore, so I had to sort of pick my way across. And then the trail was going to cross the stream again, so it was 2 slow stream crossings, and probably would have been better off to go to the left of the stream than not actually cross it. Although I might have had another stream, I might have had 1 stream crossing up there. So what I'm going to do is go up the hill and look for this boulder, and then use that to lead me to the next boulder, and then try and go to the left of that boulder a little bit and then go straight up to the control. It doesn't quite work out that way, but let's at least get to the first boulder. Okay, there's boulder number 1. Just going past this, and now we want to get to boulder number 2. Now the thing is, I don't see boulder number 2. It's to the right of me somewhere, but I couldn't see it, and that left me a little bit confused, because John Campbell did the map updates. He's a very good mapper, and I was able to trust the map by this point. So I kind of assumed that I'd gone a little bit wrong, but I was sure I was in the right general kind of area. So after a little bit of faffing around, Is faffing a British word, or do my American friends understand what that means? Just generally wandering around. Where is this boulder? I finally decide that, well, I must have missed it, and I've got to be going to the left of me now to get to where the control is. So I am going to start going left. There we go. Off we go. Had enough of looking for where that boulder is, and I'm going to assume that I can find myself, relocate along some of these rock features. Hopefully I'll just go straight into the control. Didn't quite work out like that, but let's see where I do end up. Alright, so I'm down at these rock features here, as you can see on the map tracking, but I think I'm up by my control. At least I'm a bit confused because there's too many rocks. There's a boulder. Is that where my control is? No, it isn't. It's not there. A little bit of getting the brain in order. There's some more rocks around here. So what do I think is going on? I do eventually figure out where I am. I'm still sort of trying to suss it out. So this is probably the worst navigation part of the course that I did today. I do, like I said, eventually realize where I am, and that the boulders must be further up the hill. So off I go. At a not very blistering pace. Remember, this is still 1.5 times speeded up. So you can tell how slow I was going. But there it is. Now am I going to go under this branch? Over it? Around it? Wow, I'm going to go under it. Must have been on my knees by then. There you go, I was on my hands and knees. Alright, so the nest control, you can see that about 2/3 of the way along it, there's a hilltop to the left of the straight line with rocks all around it, and that ought to be a pretty good feature to spot, with another hilltop just past it, and it ought to be a way to lead us into the control. So let's just jump ahead to that area. So as you can see from my route, I was pretty straight on the line. There's the hill in front of me. Well, I did vary a bit to the left, but I guess that was just to check out the hill, make sure it was the one I was expecting. And then already in front of that, you can see the other hill that I just need to stay to the right of. So if I've got my brain working by now, I should be going right a little bit. Here we go. That's more in line. And that's going to lead us to the control boulders. And there's the first rock just to the right, and the control rock is straight ahead. Oh, sorry, my mistake. That was actually the control rock. There we go. Alright, so the next one, I decided to go, I mean, you could go pretty much straight, right a little bit around the green in the middle. I decided to go left though, and go around that. I kind of debated for half a second of going out as far as the trail, but that didn't seem like, I was going to be too far out to the left. I was going to go around the hill area, and that I'm just going around now, between the two little hillocks, and then down the spur, across the tip of the marsh, around the fairly larger hillside near the control and into the control. Slow going. Let's jump ahead a little bit. Alright, so there's that green patch ahead. Well, green on the map. No green at this time of year. Go to the left of that. And you can see already that that hill in front of me. Just the other side of the marsh. So we're just going to be crossing over the tip of the marsh here, and we're going to go around the hillside towards the control. So let's jump ahead around the hill. Alright, here we are, just going around the tip of the hill. And the control is going to be in a pit. What I don't like these days are deep pits I have to get into and then climb out of. You can see a runner ahead of us. Are they going into a pit? Another one. Looks like they're both going into a pit. So quite often you can use other competitors to guide you into a control. Well, you do have to be careful though, because they may not be going on your course, but in this case they were going to the same control. Looks like they were coming from a different direction, so they probably were on a different course. So 6 or 7 is a short leg, so it's just going to be a matter of going straight. And you can see that on the map there's green vertical lines indicating thick undergrowth potentially, but it was, at this time of year, it was not at all impenetrable, didn't slow you down at all really. And I'm going slow enough. Again, this is 1.5 times normal speed. So we're going to go straight to the control, which should be the a boulder. And it should be this just ahead of me. I don't think I knew exactly which rock it was when I was coming up here, but there were a few in the general area and I was pretty much spot on, so it was easy to find. So the next one, again, I'm going to go pretty much straight, which means coming down the hill, picking my way across the stream. And you can, I'll lift my head up, you'll already be able to see the hillside ahead of me that I'm going to be aiming for to go around. So here we are, sort of on the hillside with a couple of boulders that I can use to spot exactly where I am. Going to get onto the hilltop there. So here we are, just going over the top of this hill, and then I mean, it's pretty obvious what direction to go in from down the hill, and you can already see the land feature ahead where the control is. So I'm just going to go straight down to it. I wonder if I've read the control description in detail to know that it's on the northern end of it. Wow, just going around there. Should be right there. There it is. Okay, 8 to 9. The plan is to go straight. Straight as I possibly can. You'll see about 2/3 of the way to the control. There's a hilltop with some boulders to the left and some rocky areas to the right, so it shouldn't be too hard to find that, and then it's just a matter of going straight to the control. I should be able to see the spur to the slight left of it if I need to guide my way in or not. So let's get to that hill, because you'll see I'm going in a very nice straight line. Might even be able to spot that boulder coming up on the right hand side just to give me added confidence. But it's not really essential. You have to sort of figure out when you need to know exactly where you are, and when it doesn't really matter because you know you're going to pick yourself up at a major land feature later on. And I was going to pick myself up. There's that hillside right ahead of me. It's so easy to spot in this open terrain. Well, I say open, it's not open, it's wooded, but the visibility is great at this time of year. Imagine what it would be like when there are all the leaves out and the undergrowth is a lot higher. Would be much more challenging. And I've had plenty of challenging races at WestPoint, some big disasters as well, but not today. So let's get up to that hill. All right, here we are, just going right over the top of it. There's that boulder ahead. You can see that's on the exact straight line that I want. And then the control is just going to be past it. You can see somebody in the distance there. Number 9 is a boulder, 1.5 to 2 meters in height, and the flag is on the east side of it, which will be behind it from the direction I'm coming from, which is the correct way to position it because you want to see the feature first before the flag. So the control is right there. So the next one is going to be straight. Just need to be a little careful. Kind of hoping that I can spot these sort of shallow contour features. Consider I'm just going across one small valley, and I can already see the other valley ahead of me going off to the left. And as long as I'm on the right kind of compass heading, I'm looking for a smallish boulder, 1.5 meters tall, flag on the north side. So I'm just crossing this rocky valley point here, and there's a boulder right ahead of me there. That looks like it should be the control, unless that's the bigger one, which I think it might be. Yeah, there's the smaller one. So the bigger one was up to the right, and the smaller one was to the left, and it's here. Footprints leading to it. But there are lots of footprints in lots of directions, so you need to be a little bit careful. There it is. All right, so next one, you can see there's a trail that goes a lot of the way. It's a little indistinct because the trail kind of starts in the middle of nowhere. So I wasn't sure how distinct that trail would be, whether I'd be able to pick it up or not, but I wanted to go in a straight line anyway because you can see like 2/3, 3/4 of the way. There are a couple of small hills on the side of the trail, and even if the trail is indistinct, I should be able to spot those. As it turned out, these footprints between the rocky areas were going in the right direction and pretty much led straight to the trail. So let's just get to the trail. So here we are, those footprints led to this, so the trail turned out to be quite wide in the end and quite visible. So it's just a matter of going along here. Past the first little hill on the right, you can see the second little hill straight ahead there. Here we are going past it, and then we just need to, shortly after passing it, we're going to have to cut off to the right and get into the control. You can see a black cross on the map. That would be some kind of man-made feature. So it shouldn't be too hard to spot this control. There's going to be a little pit between the man-made feature and the boulder, and there's that man-made feature, the sort of fence area, and then you can see the boulder behind it, so the pit is just in front of it. Just going to go to normal speed for a moment because we come across a fellow Brit.
Greetings, fellow British person.
Oh, jeez. Wish they wouldn't put them in the bottom of these things so they climb out. Hey, Jeremy. So to go to the finish, you just have to decide whether you're going to take the trail to the right or the trail to the left. I went to the left, Jeremy went to the right. He got to the finish before me, but that's mainly because he's a faster runner than me. So let's just get to the finish area and finish this race off. So I'll finish at normal speed. One of my challenges these days is, can I finish the race before my headcam battery runs out? And you'll see as I answered Dave's question that the answer today was yes.
Alright, here's the real question. Do you still have batteries?
Yes.
So the race went pretty well for me. I actually hit most of the controls spot on. I think I hit them all spot on. Only a couple of minor mistakes. I was very pleased with that. Came third. And so on to the Sunday's race. Unfortunately, the Army had to cancel the Saturday afternoon relay race. There just wasn't enough time left in the day to do it, given the morning's postponement. But they did say that they were going to do the relay again next year because they were all psyched up about having a relay race. So the weather was a lot better on Sunday. The parking lot was just off the main road. It was at a ski area. I unfortunately forgot to start my GPS watch tracking. I've got video of the race, but I don't have the route. We had a bus to the start, which was the top of the ski hill. So you'd expect the race to be mostly downhill, and it was mostly downhill. Now here's the map with my course on it. And as you can see, a lot of it downhill is right near the finish. I'm just going to show you a few clips of a minute or so of the race. So here we go. Here you go, you're on camera. You're on camera.
Another Neocker. Looking forward to a video of my course.
Jim Arsenal from Uno, former Neocker.
And I hope I don't see you guys out there because you both start a bit behind me.
And this is what we look like from behind.
Brown X?
That is Brown X, yep.
Thank you. So my result on Sunday was okay. It was another pretty steady but slow event for me. And overall, I was pleased, and really like to thank the Army for putting on the event under difficult circumstances. And it's a great pity for them that they had to cancel the relay race. But not often that orienteering is held up because of the weather. This was one of those rare exceptions where the snow made the mountain road too difficult for cars to get through. Anyway, once again, thanks everybody. Hope to see you on the next video. Bye for now.